Day 4. You guys are doing so awesome. Way to keep showing up for yourself. And we are just moving on along. Today is all about personal boundaries. And this is a personal favorite because, once we break everything down to simplicity, then it just works so much better. And so today we're going to talk about personal boundaries. And this may be a weak area, this may be a strong area. It doesn't matter as long as you just get started and make progress, right? Progress over perfection. Completion. When you wrap things up to completion, it has energy to it. It does so much for you to build trust, to excite yourself, to move forward, to grow, all kinds of fun stuff. So, when it comes to personal boundaries, the best thing that you can do is be self-aware, right? The first step is always self-awareness. In anything, any work that we do, always self-awareness comes first. And so just being aware of how in certain situations, how do you respond? How do you feel in your body? Where does that show up? How do you then act based on that, right? And so the thoughts even that you have are all tied into this. And so just a few quick little ways for you to identify your boundaries. What do you have currently? Think about how do you respond to these things, right? I put them in the email. People may not, right? So you may say, people may not disrespect me, or humiliate me, or people may not criticize me, or go through my stuff, or oppress me, or you can identify just by finishing that statement, and then you can categorize which type of boundaries this is. This physical, emotional, mental, sexual, spiritual, legal? Did I miss one? Relational? Right? So you don't need to categorize anything just yet. Just finish the sentence. People may not, and what may they not do? And then the other one is, I have the right to ask for. I have the right to ask for a raise, for privacy, for information, for time, for space, anything, right? Think about that question and then have at least 10 examples that go along with that. And then categorize them: physical, mental, emotional, relational, spiritual, sexual, legal. Look, I'm always leaving one off. That's okay. And then the other one, just another way for you to help you identify what boundaries do you have, are to protect my time and energy. It is okay to change my mind, stay home, turn the ringer off, say no. Love all those. So, and then categorize them, right? So, in each of those statements, people may not, I have the right to ask for, to protect my time and energy, it is okay to. Think about 10 examples of what you currently do. What boundaries do you have? And then think about what boundaries do you want, right? And then when it comes to setting boundaries, be sure to make sure to have support before and after the conversation. And you don't want to have the conversation when emotions are high. One of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Mark Rogers, used to say, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And so if you have very strong emotional feelings, then you're not going to think clearly or speak clearly about your boundaries. And this is with yourself. We're not talking about just setting them with others, right? We're talking about just first deciding what it is that you want for yourself. Get support around the boundaries. That's when you go out and ask for people what you want. Don't think about what you want when emotions are extremely high, because you're not going to be thinking clearly, right? Think simple. Break the boundaries down into simplicity. Like, I will not allow people to treat me with disrespect, right? So that's how you feel. How would you rather feel, right? And then when you're setting a boundary with yourself, it really is all about, after you have support, you've thought clearly, you haven't done it under emotional duress, and you think about how you'd rather feel, right? It has to do with feelings, or that you won't engage in, say, eating the whole entire cake, right? We'll just take that example for a minute here. You may have a boundary where I want to engage in losing weight and getting to my goal weight, and so I will not eat the entire cake. Yet the entire cake is sitting in front of you, and you want to eat the entire cake. Number one, you've got support. Number two, you made the boundary with yourself when you were clear-headed, when you had a thought process that wasn't charged with emotions. And so then you have the ability to choose. Do you want to engage in another activity that would help? How are you going to get out of this challenge? Because the whole cake is sitting in front of you. And so you need to be able to have uh, things in place to help support you, like when the challenge comes up, what choice will you make? How will you respond? All that kind of fun stuff. And tomorrow's all about overcoming challenges, so I won't go too terribly far into that. But then you want to back up your boundary with action. Make a decision, follow through. This is a simple way for you to build trust with yourself, and boundaries are a great way to build trust with yourself. So back up your boundaries by completing, by following through, by going all the way through it. So I know that was kind of fast and strong, but personal boundaries are a great way for you to start practicing boundaries with yourself. So before you go out into the world and start, asking other people not to cross your boundaries, it's a great way to start building self-trust. It's a great way for you to start taking a stand and deciding who you will be showing up in this world, especially if you haven't decided just yet. So decide today, what's one personal boundary that you want to set with yourself? And then take action on that. Find support. Make sure you're not emotionally charged. And then what challenges are possibly going to come up. So I'm already getting ahead of myself. So make sure to follow along in the email in deciding what you want to do. Follow your homework. Make your posts in your Facebook group and tag your buddy. I'm Contessa Aiken. I'm your Rebel Coach here at Rebel Rising. Talk to you tomorrow all about overcoming challenges. Bye.